What is up, ladies and gentlemen? It is Kevin Jackowitz here with the Cage Review, and I am about to review Black Panther. I saw it obviously opening night because technically today is opening day and I've already got the review up. There's a lot to get into, and I'm just going to start right off the bat with the 2,000-pound elephant in the room. People are debating on whether this movie is significant culturally or not. And I guess my question is, how could it not be culturally relevant? Because I believe that there may be a handful of fully black ensemble movies that have been big budget like this. And honestly, this is probably the first one that has this kind of global phenomenon aspect to a movie. I mean, certainly the biggest one I can think of. It's not the first to have an all-black cast. I mean, you've had Coming to America and movies like that, and they did very well for themselves. But it is unfortunate that it is a rarity. And so this is saying, you know what? There are so many black actors that are so good that are just not getting parts. They're not being recognized for their talent. And this movie is really shattering molds there. And so it is culturally relevant. And it does take a huge step forward. It's my opinion. Take it or leave it. But I wanted to get that out of the way because the rest of the movie, I don't want to concentrate on that. I want to concentrate on the movie and the actors themselves. And the first thing that hit me was when I'm watching this movie, it's this huge scale movie, like I said, massive budget. And it's like, I'm not used to seeing a movie that was all black cast. And I was blown away. I think DC, what Wonder Woman did for female lead movies, this movie did for black lead movies. So I'm very happy to see that. Ryan Coogler, the director, and did part of the writing for this movie, he does a great balancing act here. He really, really, really does a great job of balancing action, comedy, and some very heartfelt moments in this movie. It is absolutely phenomenal how this movie transitions from one to the next, and really, is able to do it seamlessly. So you have to give Coogler a lot of credit for that, because it was a phenomenal job. Now, I'm going to go ahead and get into the movie, specifically the actors first. This will be a non-spoiler review at the front. I'm going to let you know when spoilers are starting, so you have plenty of time. You'll have, don't worry about being shocked by me saying something. I'll let you know when spoilers are about to happen. Starting with the actors and actresses, obviously we have to start with the lead, Chadwick Boseman, T'Challa. He is the lead, and I've always thought that Boseman is a very relaxed, cool type of character. And I think for that reason, sometimes I don't gravitate as much toward the performances. But he does a very, very, very good job. And there are actually a couple of moments where you see his emotional range as an actor. There's a pretty wide variety there. So I applaud him in being able to do that, because he really sells himself on screen. As far as personality goes, I personally tend to gravitate towards people with a little bit more pep in their personality. And like I said, he's a little bit more laid back and chill, and that's cool. I mean, it actually works, I think. Um, but I like having that vibrance, that he's a little bit more stoic in his approach. Letitia Wright, Shuri. Now, this is the absolute opposite. This is the vibrant personality, the quick whips. Just a very, very fun character, and this actress, I've never seen her before. She is greatness. She really is. Her comedic timing is absolutely great throughout this movie. Just a really likable personality. So I was very happy to see that. Letitia is actually, to me, one of the highlights of the movie. Like, she really brings it, and brings it well. Danai Gurira, who plays Sequoia, she is, I mean, she's the perfect casting for the somber guardian type of character. And she's the type of woman where you'd be like, you believe her on screen when she's got these action sequences and she's whipping somebody's butt. Like, you're like, yep, I can see that. So she really sells herself. And most of the time, she is that somber type of personality. She does have a couple of moments there where she has some comedy and really good timing, I have to say. She does very well with it. And there were a couple of moments in the movie with her specifically that I think her fight choreography was really well done, and really adds to her being this ultimate badass chick, and does a great job with the fight sequences, the fight choreography. She really nailed it. So all the props in the world. You have Everett Ross, which is Martin Freeman, and I thought he was great in his introduction in Civil War, and he kind of does the same thing here. Kind of the funny moments, but very good at being this guy that likes to have control and is used to being able to command people, and typical government agent character, and he does really well with it. He's not in the movie for very long. Well, he's probably in it for maybe less than half, over a quarter. So, and he has a really, really great conversation with Claw in this movie. And I thought that was a pretty good highlight. So let's move on to some of the other characters, mainly the bad guys. Michael B. Jordan is Killmonger. I have to be honest, I was not really that big a fan of Michael B. Jordan in the past. He is earning my respect as an actor, though. He really is. And I think part of it was my mind frame about, the characters that he's played, and kind of very ghetto-centric, which I just don't gravitate to. I don't like that lifestyle. I don't like that mindset. I don't like anything about it. And it's funny because to hear him talk, he's not like that at all. And so I'm like, oh, well, that really says something about how the job that he's doing as an actor then, because he had me fully convinced. So, and that was my own short-sightedness. And in this movie in particular, he really does a good job. He really, just like with T'Challa, Killmonger has, a very good range of emotions, and of course a lot of it's anger, and he's easily expressing anger. I mean, I don't know that would be incredibly hard to do, but then he has a couple of really touching moments that you're just like, you didn't see coming, and it really was a great job by Michael. I have to give him credit. He really nailed it. So that'll take us to Andy Serkis, who plays Claw, and this guy, he is so good. He really is. Claw is this like just really disturbing character, and he's a character you love to hate in every movie. Um, just a little bit demented, and he plays it off really well, I have to say. And like honestly, I'm sure you can see already that like I'm saying that pretty much every performance here is pretty good, if not great. That's because they all were. Like these were all really solid performances. I really can't say enough about it. There's this guy Winston Duke who plays M'Baku. You'll meet him if you're not familiar in the movie when you watch it. And the guy, he's this like warrior type from a clan in Wakanda that is kind of right next to T'Challa's clan. And, he has some highlight moments for sure. Really, really good comedic timing from him as well. And for him, for the beginning part of the movie, he was your typical gladiator, warrior, type guy. And then, somewhere there's this transition where you see a lot of his personality coming through. And it's like, wow, this guy's really good. So I was really surprised by a few of the actors here. And I don't want to say it is a character, but Wakanda itself is like a character within its own right, because you're introduced to Wakanda and you're introduced to a lot of Wakanda. And it has this pulse, it has this lifestyle, and it becomes almost another character that's developed as the story goes along. And I think that was very, very cool the way they did that, because for me personally, I have never read any of the Black Panther comics. I mean, I was mainly a DC guy. I have read some Marvel comics, but I wasn't familiar with the material. And so I really appreciated the fact that they did explain a lot of things, which I'll touch on here in a second. But the movie overall, I mean, it really concentrates on the emotions of the characters, the relationship between the characters, and it plays off of that in very big ways. There's a couple of parts in this movie where there are very emotional scenes, and I think for a Marvel movie, typically they use a lot of action. And this movie does not have as much action as most Marvel movies. I can tell you that straight away. The action sequences are very good, but I don't even want to say short, but they're very sparse in the movie. And I think that's because they are relying so heavily on the connection that you're going to have with the characters and, the twists that happen in the movie. And to that extent, I mean, I think they did a very, very good job. I was entirely impressed with that. So let's touch back to the Wakanda backstory thing that they were doing. I thought it was very interesting because this movie, it delves into the city, the clans, the traditions that they've grown with and kept for years and years and years. You get to see the inauguration for the king and things like that, and how it's passed from person to person, and some of the political aspects of this as well. And I just thought it was very well done, because like I said, somebody who is not familiar with these characters and this storyline in this area, well, they did an amazing job with the introduction. Absolutely amazing job. I cannot say enough about it. So, I mean, overall, with this movie, I mean, I gave the Florida Project, I think, 4.5 out of 5 stars, because I liked how true to life it was. This is an entirely different movie, and the goal with this movie is completely different. but so well done that I think I would have to give it at least a 4 star, maybe a 4.5. Um, I mean, they just did so many good things with this movie that you can't really say enough about. Um, they did touch on the personal aspects of, like, black history, and the fact that, oppression is a part of that history, and you have the certain people that are angry about it and bitter, and you have other people that understand that that's a part of their life, but it's not who they are now, um, and they know that they can rise above. So there was a real cool dichotomy that they played off of that, um, and I mean, there's not much that wasn't likable about this movie. Really, there wasn't. Good messages, good action, good comedy, really well balanced. Performances were top notch. So, I mean, I would say, like I said, at least a 4, maybe a 4.5. I'm probably leaning toward 4.5, honestly, with this one. So that would be my grade for Black Panther. And now we're going to move into spoiler territory. So if you haven't seen the movie yet and you don't want to get spoiled on what's going to happen, get out of here. So the first thing right away with spoiler is something that I don't know how many people are going to pick up. There's no Soul Stone. We've been waiting for the Soul Stone to pop up in the Marvel Universe. It's not here. So that is very interesting, because we still have one stone to go, and Infinity War starts in May. So they don't have any more movies before Infinity War. So I was sure that they were going to have it. They don't. The really standout moments for me is when you find out what Killmonger's backstory is, and you find out that his dad was killed by T'Chaka and he was just left and abandoned. I really like the fact that they gave it a backstory and that there was some meat to the villain in this. He wasn't your stereotypical bad guy. I mean, in ways he was, but there was a rhyme and a reason for what he was doing, and it made sense. So I really appreciated that they took the time to do that. Another huge moment for me in the movie was, God, man, when they were having the fight between T'Challa and Killmonger. I mean, good fight, intense, and then Killmonger just starts going nuts, dude. He kills off Forrest Whitaker's character, and then he throws T'Challa down a waterfall, and of course everybody, I mean, he's not dead, because obviously it's the first Black Panther movie, they're not going to kill him off like that. But I didn't expect them to have Killmonger just reign over everybody and take the crown. I was like, damn, they are really pushing this one. Like, it was a moment that grabbed you, it caught you off guard, and you're like, wow, this dude's just flipped the script on everybody. So it was a very, very good moment. Another thing that really got me was Killmonger, when they do the whole Black Panther thing, and, they kind of bury him, and they're supposed to go to this plane where they're, like, talking to their dads, and, Killmonger has this really emotional moment talking to his dead dad. I thought that was really, really well done, and Jordan really showed a lot of emotion in that one. I really liked it. I was caught off guard, because, like I said, I haven't necessarily been a big Michael B. Jordan fan, but this changed my mind. It really did. Now, I haven't seen Creed, so I will put that out there. But yeah, I was impressed. And they did the same thing with T'Challa. Also, very good, touching moment with his dad. And then on the opposite spectrum of that, he's very angry at his dad when he finds out what his dad did. And then that second confrontation with his dad where he's asking him why he would leave a child abandoned like that, and he's like, "You're wrong for doing that," and he's like, I'm not ready to be here yet. I need to fix this." And very cool moment, very cool moment there. The action sequences, I think Okoye, I hope I'm saying that right, as the character name, that casino scene where she just goes to whooping on everybody, she really had to stand out there. That was really great. And that led right into what most people see in the previews, the big chase scene where, you know, Black Panther's jumping on cars and things are exploding, and he grabs the wheel with his claw. That was actually very well done. You saw a lot of it in the previews, and there were certainly some parts that were very cool that they didn't put in the trailers, thankfully. But honestly, the previews did show a good lot of the action because, I mean, your opening sequences are, you know, T'Challa rescuing, I forget the character's name, but this girl that he likes, and it's where he's like falling out of the ship and he throws these things on the cars, and then the big chase scene, and that's really what you get as far as the action scenes, except for the end. They had these like armor-plated like huge rhinos. They were actually a little bit cheesy and a little bit too much CGI for those scenes. And that's really about the only gripe I can really have about the movie. So yeah, man, it was a really fun ride beginning to end. It had some really good emotional payoffs that I didn't expect. And that's what I'm saying. You know, Coogler, he really did a great job with that. The humor, there's a scene where Claw has this weapon like discharges energy and this car like explodes for the most part, except for this girl just comes back and she's literally holding what's left of the steering wheel and she's still strapped in the seat and it's just kind of sliding down the road. I think just about everybody laughed at that one. That was pretty good. They had a lot of humor that worked in this movie, so that was good to see as well. So ladies and gentlemen, this is my review for Black Panther. If you have not seen it, go see it. It's definitely worth a watch. Let me know what you guys think in the comments too, definitely. I really want other people's opinions of how they felt this movie went. I think it was phenomenal. I really do. I think it was a great job all the way around. And if you like this review, don't forget to hit the like button, subscribe, and share. My name is Kevin Jackwitz with the Cage Nation. Cage Nation out.